Hi guys, so the purpose of this video is to discuss briefly the reasoning behind us wanting to have you set up a local development environment for WordPress. Um, as you've no doubt figured out by now, if you want to build your WordPress website, then you have to do it from your server online. Um, there's some drawbacks to this. One being, of course, you actually have to have an internet connection in order to do these things. The second is that if you have a slow internet connection, then building your site, like making sure everything looks the way that you want it to look, can be really slow because you have to keep on refreshing and you need to wait for the server to catch up with the work that you're doing. And the third thing is that if you have a site that's already live, then it might not be the most professional thing to be making a million changes to it, because there might be people on there and then they are refreshing it too and they see like, oh, this paragraph has changed like 12 times while they're messing around with the code. So those are the problems with developing right there on the server. The benefits of setting up a local environment is that you have a lot more storage, for one. You have your entire hard drive of your computer to work with, whereas if you're using something cheap like Lithium, then you only have 2 gigabytes of storage. So you can only have so many WordPress test environments on your live server, but with a local environment, you can have nearly infinite. Like I just cleaned out my local directory and I found like 15 or 20 installations of WordPress, because whenever I want to test something out, I just whip up a new one and use that. So the second thing is that you can develop at your own pace. You can create a website, make sure that it's completely polished, finished, and ready to go, and then immediately migrate it out to the live server for when you're ready to launch your website. The third, you can develop anywhere. If you wanted to go to a coffee shop that has spotty internet connection, then you can build your website there. If you want to go out into the middle of the woods, build your website there, no problem. If you want to do it on the beach, no problem as well. And the final one, which is one of the things that I like the most, is that it's much faster. Everything is taken care of right on your home computer, so you don't need to wait for the page to refresh. You don't need to wait for any kind of slow server because of your cheap cut rate shared hosting plan. So for all these reasons, we want you to get familiar with using a local development environment. And beyond all of those things, it helps you get more in the mindset of a hacker, more in the mindset of a WordPress developer, a WordPress designer, whatever you want to call yourselves, or the buzzword I guess right now is WordPress integration specialist. So this gives you a lot of tools in your toolkit. Now, so the reason that we need to set up, or the reason that you need to do WordPress either on a live server or in one of these special local development environments, is because PHP will not run on your computer. You can think back to the olden days when we were coding things in HTML, and so there was no problem with that. Your computer knows how to handle this. The browser, more specifically, it's the browser that knows how to handle HTML. So there we go. It's running the code from that print blah. It's all handled by the browser. But with PHP, it's a scripting language, and it only works on a server. A server is a specially formatted computer that serves up web pages and other things that get sent to you, the client. So here's a little snippet of PHP code right here. You don't need to be learning this, don't worry. If you do want to learn it, then check out Code Academy. They now have PHP lessons, and they're pretty awesome. But just know that this command, echo, will basically print out whatever is in between the double quotes there. So what happens if I try and open this up in my browser? We get exactly what's over there. It just displays the code because it doesn't know what else it should do. Your browser can't understand PHP code. So for that reason, we need to download an application that will mimic an Apache server, it will mimic a MySQL server, and it will mimic PHP. Well, it won't really mimic these things. It has all these things and all these pieces of software installed on it, but it's possible to do it. Your computer, or at least your Mac, is equipped with PHP, but to get it to work, you need to do some very fancy stuff. And I tried that, and it ended up basically destroying my whole computer, and I had to wipe everything and reinstall the operating system. So don't get fancy and try and enable PHP on your computer. It's a bad idea. So there's two programs that you can use depending on your operating system, or two ones that are kind of the industry standard. One, if you're using a Macintosh computer, go to mamp.info/en, or if you're using a Windows, then actually don't download it from here. You want to get the version from SourceForge. This will download the exact version that you need. But anyway, so that's the end of this video. Depending on if you have a Mac or a Windows, then go to the next video that has to do with your operating system, and we'll go through installing the software and also installing an instance of WordPress in your home database. All right, see you in the next one.